Welcome back to Breakfast Television. And after failing to qualify for the Indy 500 last year, Oakville native James Hinchcliffe had a roller coaster of a long weekend, ultimately solidifying his return to Indianapolis. Here he is. Good morning. You're doing the ab work. I was asking your training regimen, and you just sit on these stools.
You just do this.
You'll be good.
You just gotta get a little wiggle going.
There it is. Oh man, what a weekend!
Yeah, not the May 2-4 weekend we were hoping for.
That's it. And you know, that was that exactly 4 years to the day, to the serious one?
Yeah, it would have been pretty close.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Wow. Man, I missed my crash anniversary
again.
Yeah,
you crash anniversary.
I miss it every year. I celebrated it in style this year. But yeah, I mean, honestly, man, it was such a stressful weekend with what happened last year. You know, we wanted to just kind of have a smooth qualifying weekend. Obviously, that went out the window, lap 2 of qualifying on Saturday. But huge credit to the guys. They got the car out. The car was fast enough on Sunday, and we managed to sneak in. So not where we want to start, 32nd, but yeah. 500 miles, it's a long day, long race. We can get to the front from there.
Well, and that's it. That's the last row shootout, they call it, that you got in on, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there was 6 drivers. We were fighting for the last 3 spots, the last row. 33 drivers got to start the 500. And so 1 through 30 was locked in Saturday, and then 31 through 36. We had to all go out one at a time, one and done. We had one chance to do it. So one little thing goes wrong, one little mistake on setup, one little mistake on driving, one little gust of wind. I mean, these cars are so sensitive, and you're looking for... I mean, we were literally fighting for thousandths of a second. The weather can have a huge impact on it. So sometimes it's luck of the draw, but luckily we were able to get our position.
That's amazing. That just makes the story much better when you win.
Right. Yes, exactly right. It's going to make the movie script that much more compelling.
It's going to be so great. When you have that, we saw the crash that you had on Saturday, and even back in 2015, you know, when that serious one happened. How do you get back mentally to say, okay, you know what, I don't think about, like, how do you tune it out? Because even going in on Sunday, that same lap, you know, that turn, like, how do you just tune that out and be like, I'm good to go?
That's the thing. I mean, you see this accident here, and 2.5 hours later, I was going through that same corner flat out at 370 kilometers an hour again. So as a driver, you know, you go through things like this in your career, and you learn to compartmentalize things, and you have to be able to put things behind you, good things as well as bad things. You know, you have to live so in the moment. You can't get too caught up in what's happened in the past, and so this was a big test, no doubt about it. Because, you know, I think I was probably fueled a little bit by what happened last year, and knowing what it feels like to miss this race, I was just not prepared to do that again. And you know, this team works too hard, and we all work too hard for us to miss it 2 years running, and we did what we had to do. So it was tough, but racing drivers are wired a bit different. We're not right in the head.
I was saying, what was the conversation like after you did qualify with your fiance? Because what's she saying to you?
Well, it's funny. Becky told this story. She posted something on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, about she did a spot on Saving Hope, and her character in it was the girlfriend of a racing driver.
Right.
And she was running in a hospital with him on a gurney. He was bleeding to death from an accident, all the rest of it. And it was kind of weird, the parallels in some ways to what happened to me in 15. And the director and her were talking afterwards, and hey, would you ever date a race car driver? She's like, absolutely not. Those guys are nuts. So yeah, I mean, she stresses out, obviously, but she's, you know, my biggest supporter. And you know, my parents, you know, my mom and dad, who are probably watching at home. Hi, guys. You know, from day one, the first day you sit in a go-kart at 9 years old, you know, there's obviously going to be those thoughts and those worries, but they knew that's what I wanted to do, and they just support me.
That's it. Of course, the Indy 500 goes this Sunday, but we look ahead to July as well. And the Honda Indy here in Toronto, of course, being from Oakville, that one's a little more special. 4th last year, 3rd the years before that, 2 in a row.
Yeah.
What have you learned that you think that you can kind of turn the corner and get that top spot?
Oh man, it's so tough. You know, this series is so competitive. But obviously, the last 3 years we've had pretty strong cars there, and we've been decent at the street circuit so far this year. It's a moving target always, you know. And the people at Honda Indy Toronto are always trying to make the track a little bit better every year, little updates here and there. So we always come back, and there's always 1 or 2 things different that you got to adjust for. But more than anything, man, I just love coming home and getting to race in front of the home crowd and feeling the support that I felt from day one. You know, in my career, it's just there's no better feeling, and you know, giving the Canadian fans something to cheer for the last couple of years, especially back on the podium in 16 and 17. We're very, very, very keen to try and get that top spot.
Exciting, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you this Sunday, and of course, when you come back here in July for the Honda Indy, good luck. You can be watching James win on Sunday. That's when the Indy 500 goes down. Always great to see you.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks so much. We got more BT after this.